evening, everyone, and welcome to the special council meeting for Monday, March the 16th, 2026. It is hard to believe this month is half over, but it is. We are here tonight to get into financial business. So with that, the meeting is now called to order. The first item on the agenda for tonight is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion by the council to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Brown. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember McBride. Any comments or questions? I do want to note, because with the inclement weather today, or the predicted inclement weather, we did have to also post that we would go into closed session after this open session. So just want to make sure the public is aware of that once we complete financial business for today. If there are no other comments, I'll call for the motion. I'm sorry, call for the vote to approve the agenda. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The agenda is approved, I'm sorry. And I will note Councilmember Dixon may join. She's traveling, and so she will try to jump on as soon as she can. Mr. Tonelli, would you like to take us through the discussion regarding Resolution 17-2026?
Absolutely. Something we've been tossing around here for the past, I would say, month or so is something to give to the employees since we didn't do a COLA or merit this year. And so far, we've been at budget. We've been running a little bit higher in budget for salaries, but that's leveled off because we had, sorry, Councilmember Dixon's on. Give me 1 second.
So that's my fault. I was moving too fast and thought I forwarded the link to her, but I'm looking and I actually sent that to Mr. Tonelli by mistake. So I thought she had the link. So I did just forward that.
Mayor? Okay. Council members, the mayor just sent it to you right now, so use that link. Sorry, y'all. Technical difficulties and everything. As the mayor said, the perceived weather event wasn't much of a weather event, I guess, thankfully. So it adds to the mix. So anyway, we had some payouts this year for staff to pay out leave balances for those that have left the organization. Those caused a spike early on in the compensation, but as you get more pay periods in, it levels off more. And now that we have some staff vacancies, we're starting to see some savings in the compensation account. What we talked about was, since we didn't do a COLA or merit, to do a one-time, we first called it a stimulus fund of like $1,500 per employee. And that would, it just as kind of like a thank you to the employees since we haven't done anything in compensation all year. And we looked at doing, can we start like a COLA and merit now and then carry it through the end of the fiscal year? The issue with that, Michelle's concern, was that we already start the next fiscal year with a large balance that we have to fund. And each point of the COLA and merit costs roughly $50,000 over the year. So if we give the stimulus now, it's like a one-time bump. And the nice thing about what we call the stimulus is the people that lower ends feel it more than the people at the higher ends, you know, at the low to midpoint, compensated employees, feel it probably, there she is. There's Councilmember Dixon. I'm letting her in now.
Mr. Tonelli, it looks like you're sharing your screen.
That's what I thought, and I didn't mean to do that. That just jumped
Okay.
on. Stop sharing.
Yeah, I need to stop sharing.
Yeah, I'm hitting it. It's not working. Let me see.
Yeah.
If it
Because
doesn't work, I'm
mine
going to jump
says
out.
stop sharing.
Yeah, I can't even want to click on shit. It's weird. Okay, give me 1 second, y'all. I'm going to jump out and come right back in, okay?
Okay.
How strange, it's still showing that he's sharing.
Well, mine says at the bottom stop sharing. So should I click that off?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, it was Councilmember McBride. Sorry,
Uh-oh,
Mr.
I'm sorry.
Tonelli.
That's
My
all
fault.
good. Okay, so everybody still hear me? So so that's what we're looking at, you know, doing the one-time stimulus this fiscal year, but not because we're still early in the budget process for next fiscal year, and I really hate to tie us into something right now for next fiscal year, not knowing, you know, because we haven't even started talking about the budget for next year. And one of the important things too is, you know, this does pay us after discussion that, you know, it isn't because of, you know, what we heard Thursday night. It is, you know, because of what we've been talking about for over a month. So that's about it. You know, I'll leave that to up to you all for discussion. If any questions or anything.
Sure, but I do want to start with thanking you, Mr. Tonelli and Ms. Bailey Hedgepeth, for getting us started with the recommended action. Definitely understand we did put money in the budget, and we agreed that we would review things mid-year to determine if we could do something to help with the cost of living increase for staff. And I agree, we're at the point where I think we can move ahead and offer something as a thank you for their service over this year. Um, the concern, though, as you addressed, is the ongoing costs. So if we do COLA and MERA increases now, we're going into the next budget cycle, which means we have to scale up on what we're putting in the budget to compensate those higher salaries. And then that also triggers liability financially for the state pension system as well. So it's not just the salaries, but it's that piece of it too. And given the uncertainty, I think right now we're looking at what, about $400,000 or $500,000 structural deficit that we need to be thinking about in the upcoming budget meeting. So I totally for this, because it doesn't say we're not doing anything for staff. It's just saying we have to be a little more conservative than prior years. So here's something that we want to do to thank you for your service, and let them know that we're making this decision because of the budget. You know, we wish we didn't have to be so fiscally conservative, but just for right now, this is the environment that we're in, and we just really have to be wise with the resources that we have. But council, open it up to any thoughts or questions or concerns with what's being posed. Councilmember Blunt.
Okay, just so I can understand, I'm new at all this and trying to understand it. So, we didn't give them a raise or no COLAs in 26, which is the money we're using now. I think that's what we're speaking about. Now, what about 27? So are you saying that they will get the raise or the COLA in 27? It's just to stop for 26? What we getting ready to speak about this evening?
Right now, I have budgeted in there in FY27 a 2% COLA and 1% merit, and that is part of the $400,000 structural deficit that we're facing next year. Now, that is, I keep saying the budget that, we sent out last week's meeting, was it last week? Yeah. Was everything fully loaded, if we put this in, this is what it's going to cost. Now, if we back that out, obviously there's savings, but we didn't want to put that in right now. So we didn't want that to have us hamstring going in FY27 if we can't afford all that. So that's why we went back and just thought about doing $1,500, but not having a COLA or merit right now going through the end of the fiscal year through June. July, we can go ahead and put something in or have a phased in approach, depending on revenues. So we're not tied, hard and fast on July 1. We have an extra 3% that we're going to cover on salaries. So that was the idea of doing a stimulus, kind of like, we call it a stimulus, call it a boat, call it a, feel good payment. I don't know, so this is what, we've been kicking around, and there's 44 employees, and with the FICA tax, so it's going to be taxed. So if so the employees pay the FICA tax, and the town matches the FICA tax. So employees get a $1,500 stimulus, they might net $1,200 or $1,300. The total cost of the town would be roughly around $71,000 and change. We put 75 at first, and then I'll walk it down to 71,000, seeing how the taxes will play out.
So next year we won't be doing like a 15,000. We'll have something put in place for 27.
Yeah.
Sorry, Vita, your audio is going up and down, but I'll just jump in and say that the answer is not yes or no, council member, because we're going through the budget meetings now for 2027 fiscal year. So we'll have to decide when we go through the department budgets if we want to put that in, or if we want to do the same thing we did last year to say, set the money in there, and we can decide based on how revenues are coming in when and if we want to pay it out. So doing this doesn't take away from our ability to determine what we want to do for the next year, but we do have to talk about that when we have the individual budget meetings to go through all the other departments. Does that help?
Yeah, and one more question. We might haven't gotten to this part. We just started. We might gonna get to it. I know this is 44 staff members. So is that it says eligible staff members. So that's for everybody or only eligible staff? And how do you determine who's eligible and who's not?
We kept it, well, first of all, is this better? I reset it. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, it just takes some time to hard reset. It's pretty much, I hate to say this, excluding the mayor and council and the town administrator. Well, Michelle under the current calculation, because she saw that it's something different contractually.
What about the ones who received incentives last year because they didn't get a COLA or a raise, but they got incentives? They received I know it was 2 employees that I heard that Michelle talked about that did.
Oh yeah, they did, and there are some folks that I think there may have been 2. They may have been 2 or 3 that have had increases throughout the year for personal merits or moving up in job responsibilities or even rank. But I had them already included as well. I didn't take them into. I didn't back them out. I should say. I didn't think about backing them out. So, but that's up for discussion.
Yeah, because I was just wondering, because I know that Michelle did talk about what they did get, and that was healthy. That was real healthy what they did receive. Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm sure everybody already know who they are, but it was healthy. So, but yet they said they didn't receive anything So I don't know. I'm just want to see how tonight play out, and then we'll speak about it. If you all don't already know who those three people are.
I mean,
I'm not
that's,
sure, but maybe in the closed session, um, you could share, because I'm not tracking and I don't want to say the wrong thing in the open meeting. But just generally speaking, when it comes to the merit and COLA increases, I think we have the ability to decide if we want to exclude people. My thought process, though, is even with that, if you're getting a merit or COLA, it's separate typically from if you got a promotion over the course of the year. I haven't seen people excluded, but I do understand, council member, to your point, that if you feel that people have been well compensated, that's something to consider. I think
I mean,
the other consideration too is the fact that it is levelized. And so the amount that we put in the budget was equally divided amongst everyone versus you get more, I get less, Councilmember Brown gets less, and then Councilmember McBride gets more. So it's just flat across the board, which I think shows that we're trying to show some equitable treatment and not give you more than the next person. Councilmember McBride, I want to make sure we get your thoughts, and then I'll keep moving around the group.
I think Councilmember McBride was kind of lost on that piece, but in a way, I'm glad Miss Blunt brought it out. Um, I'm 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 on a listening mode right now.
All right, thank you. And then Councilmember Brown.
Thanks, Mayor. So my understanding is that since we did not give merit and COLA increases in the 2026 budget, that we want um to give them a one-time bonus of $1,500. And so that money is coming from, as you said, we've had a few savings because we've had some vacant positions. Am I on the right track, Mr. Vito?
yeah, yep, that's correct. That's correct.
We had some vacant positions, and in that and now that we're in our planning for 2027, then there'll be some determinations whether or not I guess we'll be in a good place to give merit and COLAs for 2027 budget. But this right here will show, I guess, some good faith and consideration in 2026 and give the employees the bonus, the $1,500 bonus across the board.
That's correct.
Okay, and it's the exclusions are the mayor and council and the town administrator.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
or
Mhm.
former
Well,
departed,
that
departing,
position,
yes, yeah.
and council. Okay. Okay.
And also, I just want to add too that, the $1,500 hits folks' paychecks right now. I do have to, I did get a concern that, or preference that employee would rather have it built into their salary because it increases their pension, down the road and everything. And that is a valid concern, but if we do it that way, again, we're going back into bumping that whole salary up, the whole, it steps
Right.
everything up from now all the way through, so, and I told him that, but I just wanted to share that concern that, not concerned, but, as we were kicking it around, I guess we could say, internally. So, but again, as you said, it's like a good faith effort kind of thing.
Mhm, mhm. And this would not be a part of their regular paycheck.
No, no, it would be a separate paycheck, taxed, and it'll be included in their earnings, but it won't be included as a like a compensation there.
It'd be a bonus, right? It'd
Yes,
show us
yeah.
a bonus.
I don't like using that term bonus, even though it technically is a
Right.
bonus, but bonus
But
has gotten
what's another term for it?
well, bonus has gotten a little bit
Incentive?
more. Yeah, I mean, and that's why we called it a stimulus because we were trying to find something for it instead of bonus,
Okay.
So
Okay.
because it's I mean, governments do bonuses, but that's more of a for-profit world thing. So I'm trying to stay away from that word. That's why
Okay.
But
what's the government term for?
A flat one-time payout.
There you
It's
go. I like
not,
that.
it's not adding to their compensation. And I think
Mhm.
Thank you, Mayor.
honestly, because this part of our meeting is open, so if staff watch it, the reality is we have to think about not just giving the resources today, but how we sustain them. And we
Right.
want to do something to thank you and reward you as staff for doing a good job. And this is the best that we can offer at this time, because if we do the COLA and merit, now we're in the 2027 fiscal year planning. And so that means in just a few months, now we have to have that higher number of compensation built into the budget. And it's not just your take home salary, but it's the pension that goes along with it. And so we still have to discuss how we're going to close the budget gap for fiscal year 2027. And so those are separate conversations and things that we really have to be in a position to have strong decisions on, that are fueled by facts and not feelings. Because of course we want folks to feel good, but we're responsible for the facts, the dollars and the cents of the town budget. And so we need to have more deliberate conversations about that. This could be a situation where this flat one-time payout is handled for FY26. And who knows, if revenues jump between now and the end of the fiscal year and the council has confidence that we can fully fund a COLA and merit increase, then that's the conversation we'll have. But right now, we're looking at all of our options and trying to make the best decision with all the information that's available to us. And so I want to make sure, Councilmember Dixon, if you want to weigh in and say whether you have some thoughts on it as well.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Yes, basically, I want to say everything that Councilmember Brown says, but a one-time bonus will definitely help them, since we can't give them a raise, flat pay, since we cannot give them a raise. But this still doesn't address the ongoing cost of living, of life, and pressure on our staff, because we know there's inflation. And I know they will appreciate it, but I still think that they will still have some observation on when are they going to be getting a raise. And this is in the best interest right now for our budget. There was a question, I think Councilmember Blunt mentioned, if it was going to be given based on salary or position. And I think that question was answered earlier, right? Yeah, so that's it for me. I'm in favor. I think
Okay.
that is just best for the budget right now.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Councilmember Dixon. I appreciate those thoughts. So, Council, with that, I'm going to ask, is there a motion to approve resolution number 17-2026? Or actually, I'm sorry, before moving forward with that, Mr. Tonelli, do you mind reading the abbreviated version of the resolution?
Sure. Second. It's not too long. Resolution number 17-2026, resolution of the Mayor and Council of the Town of Bladensburg authorizing a one-time bonus payment to eligible town employees for fiscal year 2026. You all hear me okay? Coming through okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Whereas the Mayor and Council of Town of Bladensburg recognize the dedication and service of town employees who provide essential services to the community, and whereas the fiscal year 2026 adopted budget did not include a COLA or merit increases for employees, and town staff indicated that the town financial position could be evaluated at mid-year to determine whether funds available to provide financial recognition to employees. And whereas the town administrator and treasurer have reviewed the current fiscal year budget and determined savings within personnel line items have accrued due to operational efficiency and staffing changes. Whereas these available funds allow the town to provide a one-time bonus payment to employees without requiring a budget amendment. And the mayor and council desire to recognize the contributions of town employees and provide limited financial relief in light of increased cost of living expenses. And staff recommended a one-time flat payment of $1,500 to each eligible employee for a total amount not to exceed $75,000. And whereas the proposed payments will apply to 44 eligible employees, or when added there, or as indicated of the town, excluding the town administrator, mayor, and members of the town council. And whereas any compensation adjustments or bonus payments for the town administrator are determined separately by the mayor and council in accordance with the town administrator's employment contract. Therefore, be it resolved, the payment of one-time bonus only shall not constitute a permanent salary increase, nor shall be considered part of employees' base pay for future compensation calculations. And it be further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately upon adoption, as of adoption date, signed by acting town administrator or interim town administrator and the mayor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tonelli, for the reading of the resolution. So with that, council, is there a motion to approve resolution number 17-2026?
I so moved.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Brown. Any further comments or questions regarding the resolution? Interim Chief, I want to give you a chance. I just realized as Mr. Tonelli was reading, we didn't give you an opportunity to speak. Anything you want to share with the council on the resolution? Uh-oh, you're muted.
Can't hear you.
Even though it says your mic is unmuted, but
No,
And
we
I
can't hear you.
It was, now it just went back.
Oh, can't hear you. I don't know. Do you think maybe
Okay,
he
now
needs to go
No.
out and come back in?
if
You
not
probably
that,
he probably has to allow the mic. He probably didn't allow mic options. If you
yeah,
have to do.
Interim Chief, I was gonna say, if you hit the caret next to the mic, it's a downward facing caret. And you may have to adjust whichever microphone it's set to. Hopefully that fixes it.
Yeah,
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
okay.
Just
Yes, I'm
bill
in
me
agreement
to
with
IT.
Thank you. I didn't know what was going on with it. But yes, I'm in agreement with this. I think it's a financially responsible thing to do based on the budget and going into the new budget. It gives the employees something, and it just doesn't add to the base salary because that's going to add a lot more of a deficit to next budget. So I'm in agreement with it.
That's really helpful feedback. Council, any other comments or questions before we call the vote? All right, hearing none. All in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. The resolution is approved. Thank you all so much for your support of this particular resolution, and I hope the staff understands how much we appreciate their work to bring this important item forward. And again, Mr. Tonelli, thanks to you and Ms. Bailey Hedgepeth in her absence for doing the work to get this information together with the background materials for today's discussion. Yes, you look like you
Thanks.
had something there.
Just a quick point of clarification. Who made the motion? Who seconded? Just so I get my notes.
Sure. The motion was made by Councilmember Blunt, seconded by Councilmember Brown.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. All right, so with that, that completes the item up for discussion for the open meeting. At this time, council, there is a need to go into closed session. And so I would ask for a motion to move from the open meeting into closed session pursuant to general provisions, Article 3-305, Section B1 of the Maryland Code, which allows the mayor and council to meet in closed session to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction, and any other personnel matters that affect one or more specific individuals. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
Also move.
Also
Move-
move.
Moved by Councilmember Blunt. Is there a second?
Second,
I second.
Seconded by Councilmember Dixon. Any comments or questions before we call the vote? Hearing none, all in favor, let it be known by the saying of aye.
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 Any nays? The ayes have it. We're now in closed session. So I'm just going to stop the recording. Give me one moment, please. Stop.